My presentation might answer some of the questions that some of the audience has about what happens first. Advanced media, I just want to show you this really quickly. This is not on any of the slides, but basically we at Advanced Media offer an integrated service. What we do is we often start with the consulting aspect with a client so that we kind of look at who you are, who your competition is, what is it that you really are trying to accomplish, and how can you use the internet to actually get you to your business goals. And that might be, business goals typically are lead generation for a type of website that you get leads. It could be basically for another type of website. It might be e-commerce where you want to sell a product. Or you might be a university or a brand site, and what you want is you want people to be able to navigate your site, so it's a usability and functionality kind of issue. And so your website, and some websites are a combination of all of those. They could be getting you in for a lead, but also want to make a sale. So you really need a strategic approach to that, and they might have consultants that help you get to that strategy. So that's kind of where you start. And I think that it's very simple. Inbound marketing simply is 85% of the people that go on the internet start with a search. I think you did that very well with the hands on Google. How many people actually start with a search? Starting with a search, you're already in the buying cycle. So if you're searching for something, you are either at the beginning, the middle, or the end of the buying cycle. So really, I'm not going to talk too much about keywords or any of that, but you really do need to look at that and look at keywords that are at the beginning of your buying cycle, the middle, or the very long tail where you can actually get a client that really needs your service and wants your service. Today, my presentation is really on, it complements what they're doing. It's really on SEO, search engine optimization, and web-friendly design for search. In other words, you can build a website. 98% of the websites out there are brochureware. In other words, they're simply a brochure online. You tell somebody, go to my website, great, they're there, and you have a brochure online. We work with the 2% of the people that want to be internet players and use their site as a marketing tool. And that's the difference. And that space is very competitive. Okay, so I'm going to start with search and SEO and then talk about search engine friendly web design. Okay. Now, this is a result page from 2007. And in 2007, the SEO word was, let's look at the 10 blue lines. And if you were up on page 1 in the 10 blue lines, you were a player on the internet. I'm going to point out today how that has really changed. This is 4 years later, and our search results look nothing like this today. What you really need to know is the big picture on the internet. If you really want to be a player on the internet, you have to understand how the internet works. And the internet works by having many different components. So you do have your email marketing, you have your affiliate marketing, you have your website development, which is part of it, and landing page development, online display ads. And we didn't talk at all about advertising online, which is huge, because some of that results that people get is because they're paying to advertise. They're in Google search, so paid search. And that is not something that you need to ignore, but you need to look at how can you leverage it, or are your competitors leveraging it. I'm not going to be talking much about search. We're talking about organic SEO today. So let's look at search marketing. Well, search marketing 4 years ago in 2007 was basically algorithmic. And today it is diversified. It is very difficult. If someone calls you and says, I can get you on page 1 of the search engine today, you have to say, what page 1? Is there a page 1 today? Because now you have organic web universal search. You have mobile search, you have organic image search, you have shopping comparison search, you have organic video search, you have paid search, you have real-time search, you have social search, and you have local search. And every one of those components is different. And you have to know, how can I be a player on each one of these and leverage your search? Now for social marketing, if you look at social marketing, you have blog marketing, you have microblogging, you have online reputation management, photo and video sharing, social networking, bookmarking, social news, and I didn't even mention gaming. I'm not even going to go there. So basically today, what's left? You have two technologies for search today. You have Google and Bing. Yahoo now gets Bing results, so you have two players in search. You have from Google what they call auto-localization. Auto-localization means that Google knows where you are. And if you're searching, they're going to give you different results than somebody living in Texas. Automatically. Okay? Instant search. Google started where you start typing and they think they know what you want. So they're going to tell you what they think, and if you keep typing, you will get more direct results and more targeted results. But you're not going to get results if you don't keep typing, because you can look at the first three letters and maybe they found what your intent was. And then you have social signals for ranking today, both in Google and Bing. They pay attention to that. I'll talk about it later. And then you have instant preview, and again, I'll go into what those exactly are. So let's look at the types of search. Basically, traditional organic or algorithmic search, it works for desktop and mobile, although mobile results is a totally different engine, and I'll talk about that later. So your keywords will be different. But basically, your search is done, when we call algorithms, there are algorithms that say if you have a title, if you have a description, and I'll go through some of those things as well. Those are the things that make a difference in your ranking. Link building, all the things that many of you have heard. I'm not, this is not a course in SEO 1, but, basically all the stuff that Google is looking for. And if you build a website and you don't pay attention to it, you're not going to be there. It's very simple. If you say, okay, I can do 9 out of the 10 things and I'm not going to do link building, you're not there. Your competitor is going to be there and you're not going to be there. So you can't skip steps. You've got to do it all, or you're not a player. Then you have the vertical search. And the vertical search is very important today because I think actually HubSpot pointed out that where is your audience today? Your audience today is all over the place. So your audience may be doing an image search. They may be on YouTube doing a video search. They may be doing a shopping search. They may be going, looking for a product where they're in the shopping search engine. Or let's say you're doing Twitter as a news search. You might be doing a blog search. And so how do those things influence your search results? Because if you want to be a player, you've got to pay attention to that. How do I get there? How do I become a player? How do people find me? Now, the organic real-time search changed a lot of things a couple years ago with Twitter, because Twitter was so powerful that people were actually getting results right on the spot. And so Google and Bing had to think, how are we going to integrate all of this into our search results, because people want to know. So I'll talk about that in a minute. And social search is getting more and more and more popular. Things like Quora or Cha-Cha, where you ask a question and the community becomes the search engine, and the results are part of the community's attention to that particular avenue. The other thing with social search is that individuals can rise, especially for you consultants out there. You can be influencers. You can become the person that people go to, the go-to person in that area, and obviously that's one way to get clients. Because if you're the go-to person and you answer the right questions and you become the person that people want to go to, they may actually go to you for business, and you may actually get paid to answer those questions down the road. And then you have the whole world of paid search, which we are not talking about today, but national and local pay-per-click, You know, basically you have two major players, Microsoft Ad Center and Google AdWords. Then you have all your tag advertising, and I will talk a little bit about Google Place Pages tags and Yext tags, because that's the super local, hyper local. Groupon, we're really getting into today a lot of those different avenues, Foursquare and some of the other players. So let's look at instant search for a minute. As I said, as you start typing, you get results. So if I say pizza, and I put an N in, and if I'm in Nashua, New Hampshire, I'm going to get local results, whether I want to or not. Okay? So I'm going to get those results. Now, the basics of Google Instant Search remain the same. So you get ranked exactly the way Google would rank you with their algorithm. So there's nothing special that you need to do for instant search. It just is part of the regular Google algorithm.